Hello, my name's Andrew, aka Shadow6. In this video, I give you 5 things to consider as a budding in-game screenshot artist. Do's and don'ts, if you will. Now, I don't claim to be an authority on the subject, so take all this with a pinch of salt if you wish, but these are things I've learnt on my journey so far, largely through trial and error. For a bit of background, I've always been into photography in the real world, and now for 3 years or so, that has translated into virtual photography and more recently into actual paid work, occasionally freelancing to supply Battlefield 1 and PUBG with in-game and social media images. The idea for this video was spawned from a few comments on Twitter about getting your work noticed within the community and how one might go about being successful, in inverted commas. Point 1. Take screenshots because you love taking screenshots. The point being, you should be spending your time doing something you enjoy and creating things you can be proud of. Gaining a fan base is really only a byproduct of that. If you're taking in-game images as a way to become popular, you might want to try YouTube instead. No one ever got famous, apart from Birdie, by taking pictures. As a whole, images on the internet are one of the least protected types of media going. Easily copied and shared, and even if you watermark each one, assuming you don't ruin the picture in the process, it's usually something that can be cropped out or removed. So, accept that even if your work gets out there, your name probably won't. Number 2. Alright, so not that way. Alright, so you really want to get people's attention. I like to work on the theory. Okay, we'll call it point 2. I like to work on the theory that if your content is good enough and unique enough, it will be noticed and shared organically by the community simply because they like it. But if you need a little boost, why not try to attract the attention of the community manager for the game you're taking pictures of? Using Twitter again as an example, tag the profiles of the game and the community manager in your tweet and see if that elicits a reaction. Better still, as Sammy from PUBG reminded me, rather than @ing them in the tweet, you can use the tag photo feature to make things look a little cleaner. I asked a number of the community managers yesterday if they approved of being tagged in on new content, and the general response was, yes, this is a positive thing to do, but that's not necessarily the same across the board. It's a good idea to check the Twitter profile of the person you're thinking of tagging in and see if they tend to favourite or retweet the stuff that they're being tagged into. The important thing is, and this does go back to point 1, don't become obsessed by this stuff, and in particular, don't start ranting to people that your work isn't being recognised or sufficiently appreciated. Equally, don't go so far as to spam accounts with your content so that it becomes a nuisance. In either case, you will quickly find yourself muted or even blocked, or, as I like to call it, Danyon PC'd. And that brings me on to number 3, quality over quantity. This is another lesson I've come to appreciate through the error of my own ways. It's much more impactful to spend 2 hours creating one unique, standout image than it is to spend 2 hours snapping 20 average shots and posting them all at once. It's very easy to tire your followers on social media with a constant barrage of content that doesn't really meet the quality of work that you're capable of if you put your mind to it. As the age-old showbiz saying goes, always leave them wanting more. Number 4. Be your own worst critic. Something in the recent Birdoo article I strongly identified with was when he said, I'm only satisfied with about 10% of the shots I take. 10% is quite a lot. Personally, I'm only happy with 9% of the shots I take, and in a way that makes me better. The point being, no matter how popular your image is, you should always be able to look back and go, I could probably have done this better or positioned the character a little more that way. Being critical of your work is a very natural thing and a very important thing that will always push you to create better content. I've deleted or reshot images before that I've already posted on Twitter or Instagram because someone will have come along and pointed out something that I just didn't see at the time of shooting, and it'll become such an obvious flaw all of a sudden. I always want my published body of work to be the best it can possibly be, so if it's not up to scratch, it has to go. Finally, number 5, don't be afraid to seek inspiration from other sources, be it your fellow screenshotters, film and television, or simply a Google search. It might not even be the image subject matter itself that you're deriving inspiration from. It might be technique, an angle, or a way of lighting an object or a person that is particularly interesting. The important thing here is to make sure you're not taking so much inspiration that you're simply copying another screenshotter's work. That's not good for anybody concerned. That's it. That's 5 suggestions for becoming the next Birdo or whatever. However you decide to tackle it, good luck. Photo modes in games are becoming more and more popular as developers start to appreciate the benefits of having its community create artwork for them. But as a result, there have also never been more people producing images and vying for the limelight. Do your thing, stand out from the crowd, and most importantly, enjoy it. Goodbye.